Full disclosure, choosing what to wear for these breakdowns can be a bit of a chore. I want to be approachable while also looking professional and at least trying to be fashionable, so that means that tie is out. Someone who's relatable but also respectable. All right, so we're gonna go with probably a jacket like this. It's something we all do really, whether we're going to the store for some groceries or going out on a date. So you can imagine the amount of work and thought that goes into dressing someone like a politician, which is what we're gonna talk about on this week's breakdown. Red tie? Blue tie? What if we went something right in the middle, like a purple tie? Pocket square? Don't want to be too fancy, but slacks could be perceived as too casual, so we're gonna go with normal suit pants this week. Some people might call this whole process of deciding neurotic, others call it necessary.
You'd be surprised about how intentional many politicians are with their fashion choices.
Lauren Rothman is an image consultant from Miami who lives in DC. Why DC? Well, a good portion of her clientele are politicians.
It never wants to look so done up that it feels aspirational.
For example, it's why we rarely see Pete Buttigieg with a suit jacket or rolled down sleeves. He wants to look authentic as well as a little gritty. It's also why we never see Andrew Yang with a tie, as he looks relatable while trying to secure some young voters.
Your visual impact is as important as your verbal one. And so the content of what you're saying is incredibly important. And at the end of the day, probably more important. But what really sticks is that visual impact that you make in the first 5 seconds.
Remember Obama's tan suit, or how about Hillary Clinton's white outfit? Colors are huge. Blues are generally considered warm and trustworthy, while reds are seen as a bit more authoritative and passionate. The outfit also needs to be practical, because think about how long politicians are on their feet.
What we're going to see specific choices on are very much going to be, how functional is this piece of clothing? Pockets are a huge deal, especially for women who often aren't carrying purses in politics. So what's a comfortable shoe going to be?
So much of it is subliminal nuance that can be traced back to September 26th, 1960. On that day, an established vice president in Richard Nixon took on a young aspirational senator named John F. Kennedy in the first ever televised debate. Going in, Nixon was favored to win in the November election by 6 percentage points, but he chose not to wear makeup on the night of the debate. Kennedy did. It made Nixon look tired and ill, while Kennedy appeared vibrant and charismatic. The next day, the very next day, polls showed Kennedy had become the slight favorite to win the election, and it changed politics and the fashion within it forever. Hey, I'm Dan Grossman, and thanks for being with us on this week's Breakdown.